This is ABC15 Mornings.
And right now at 6, it is going to be a tough day for tens of thousands of people and their families. Massive layoffs set to begin for airline workers as the industry continues to be decimated by this pandemic.
And no place for it in the game or in society. The Phoenix Rising game ends in protest after a player is accused of using a homophobic slur.
And on a much lighter note, did you watch last night here on ABC 15? Absolute domination in the NBA Finals. Will Game 2 be at least a little bit more competitive?
Sure hope so, right? I mean, we watched. It's just
unless you're a Lakers fan, I mean, you're happy about this,
yeah,
but
that's right.
Miami fan, not so much.
Good morning to you. Thank you for hanging out with us on this Thursday. KALEY here in studio. Our next Saletti is joining us at social distancing from the newsroom. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Of course, a lot of news to get to today, but first, let's talk a little weather. Meteorologist HERMOSILLO is standing by, social distancing from home today as we kick things off, I think, on a pretty good note for this Thursday, Iris.
I think so too. And you know what? We want to get to your forecast so that you can take advantage of the cool morning temperatures while they're here before we heat up for the day. Today, a hotter day overall as we kick off a new month. We're not catching a break from those unseasonably hot conditions, but our temperatures in the morning still providing some of that heat relief. And this morning feeling pretty good as we are down to 77 degrees at Phoenix Sky Harbor. But we've got a mix of 60s and 70s pretty much across the valley this morning. So a comfortable start, but a quick warm up. Look at those temperatures by lunchtime, already in the upper 90s, and then today a high of 106, which means it's going to be 1 degree hotter than it was yesterday, well above normal, about 12 degrees above normal, and near the record. And in fact, as you look at that forecast looking at the weekend, we're going to stay in the hundreds, we're going to stay well above normal with more records in jeopardy this weekend. We're going to talk about those records and how close we'll come. Plus, I have a brand new drought update that just came in. I'll show you that in just a few minutes. Chelsea, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Iris. Thanks so much. We'll check back in with you soon. And until then, I'll keep watching the roadways as well. I'm going to show you what I'm seeing right now, though. North Valley, clear with our accident log group traffic maps. No reported crashes out there. Barely any delays. We're looking at a lot of green overall. When we go surface street level, because of that earlier crash from this morning, we still have a closure on 7th Street northbound and southbound between Thunderbird and Country Gables Drive. So you can use 19th Avenue, you can use Cave Creek, you can use State Route 51 or even I-17 to travel to get by. Right now, you're also looking at another surface street crash at 43rd Avenue and Indian School. If you need any alternates, 51st Ave and Thomas will be better. But right now, I-10 looks pretty good, making your way into downtown Phoenix. Just a little stop and go around the stack. I-17 slow around the Durango curve, which is normal for this time of day. East Valley, all green flows, but I'll show you some desert drive times in a few.
Okay, Chels, thank you so much. You know, this morning, professional soccer and the Phoenix Rising are investigating whether a player used a homophobic slur during the game. San Diego Loyal actually walking off the field in protest last night. And this incident is now making international headlines. Our Mark Thompson joins us now. And Mark, it sounds like this isn't the first problem for the United Soccer League of this kind.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the second time in as many weeks that San Diego has been involved in an incident like this, Kaylee. And just last week, they forfeited a game because a player used a racial slur against somebody on that team. And then the player who was found to have actually used that slur was suspended and then cut from their team. But now let's move on to last night. As for last night, the player accused of using a homophobic slur is Phoenix Rising forward Junior Flemings. He allegedly made it towards San Diego's COLLIN Martin, who announced in 2018 that he is gay. Flemings calls the accusations against him false, saying in part, "At no point did I say a homophobic slur towards COLLIN Martin. I am disappointed by San Diego's actions. This evening, because I have been mauled and ridiculed online with no opportunity to defend myself, I stand in solidarity with the LGBTQ movement." The San Diego Loyal, they were leading the match 3-1 mid-game. When the players came out of the locker room, a heated confrontation happened on the sideline. San Diego is coached by soccer legend LANDON. He says that homophobia has no place in the game, and he was upset with the head coach for Phoenix.
If you don't pull the player off the field, if you don't sub him off, our players are not going to play because we have to make a stand. So either you do it or else we're going to have to do it. And he said, "I'm not going to sub him off the field." I said, "Okay, that's fair. That's your choice." And then our guys, to their immense credit, just said, "We're not going to stand for this."
The San Diego team then posted this on Twitter. Last week, we made it loud and clear that we do not stand for racism or homophobia. Nothing has changed this week. Now, during the second half, the teams, they were supposed to make a stand in solidarity against issues like this, and they were actually going to hold up a banner that reads, "I will speak, I will act," and that was all to condemn hatred. But then after this incident happened and the game was forfeited, they weren't able to show that sign of solidarity. But much more on this to come. We'll have to see how it all plays out for the players who are involved. Reporting live this morning, Mark Thompson, ABC 15 Arizona. Back to you.
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
Well, that is the debate moment President Donald Trump is still being asked about.
White supremacists, they clearly love you and support you. Do you welcome that?
I want law and order to be a very important part. It's a very important part of my campaign.
But you denounce them. Do you denounce
I've always denounced any form of any of that. You have to denounce.
So who exactly are the Proud Boys? Our team has seen members participating in demonstrations in Gilbert and Phoenix recently, some handing out flyers even. We're learning the group is active in Arizona, some members using the Nextdoor app for recruiting. Proud Boys formed in 2016, and by 2018, the FBI classified them as an extremist group with ties to white nationalism.
They are one of the most dangerous organizations out there because they have the ability to reframe their extremism as an assertion of their masculinity, which pulls many people from the mainstream to the fringes.
They will latch on and want to be present where there's an opportunity for violence to break out.
Well, Gilbert police tell us they are aware of the Proud Boys at past gatherings and say all demonstrators are closely monitored.
Armed with a knife, a suspect shot by a Phoenix police sergeant after a chase. Police say this started when someone called 911, reporting a man was damaging property near 44th Street in Camelback. A sergeant first to respond to that scene. When she saw the suspect, he took off.
When she came upon him, he laid down in the ditch. She was giving him commands to drop the knife. He has what appears to be a knife in his hand. Told him to drop the knife, and he did not comply with that. He got up.
We're told that man was shot in the leg and is expected to survive.
This morning, you can now text the Pinal County Sheriff's Office. This is for people hard of hearing or with a speech disability or when it's not safe to call. Officials say to provide your exact location, avoid using abbreviations, and reminder, don't send any photos.
It is October 1st, and today begins Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Like so many other aspects of our lives, breast health has been negatively impacted by this pandemic. The past couple of months have seen a 62% drop in breast imaging numbers as more women have been postponing or canceling routine checkups. Are you a COVID-19 survivor? If you are, right now, you can help others who are fighting the virus right here in the Valley by Talent collecting convalescent plasma at its 6 locations across the Valley. It's all part of the federal government's Operation Warp Speed. It's the only antibody treatment approved by the FDA, and so far, 6,200 COVID-19 patients locally have benefited from convalescent plasma treatments.
Social isolation has been difficult for so many of us throughout this pandemic, and one group hit especially hard: senior citizens. In March, many people at Pebble Creek, a 55 and up community in Goodyear, sheltered in place and were cut off from their regular social activities. But with a little help from Zoom, the community is once again finding ways to keep busy.
This is a very social community. We've always really valued the ability to get together, to have, the afternoon cocktail hour, so to speak, to go to the pool, to go to the fitness center, to join clubs and do activities. And so it's been hard from that perspective. The advantage of what we're doing now with Zoom is it gives people something to do. And that's one of the comments I've heard over and over from our residents about, this is wonderful because now we've got things to do and things to look forward to. And when we're talking to each other over Zoom, it's not quite like talking face to face, but it's the next best thing.
Some of the interactive Zoom activities include brewing beer at home, makeup classes, even a book club.
Well, up next here on ABC 15 Mornings, home improvement project, anyone? So many of you are sprucing things up around home. So this morning, we're going to take a closer look at why things like refrigerators and washing machines are suddenly in such short supply. We have a solution for you, too.
ABC15 Sports, sponsored by Sanderson Ford.
Good morning. The Lakers took a 1-0 series lead in the NBA Finals in a game where the final score was a lot closer than the game itself. And it certainly didn't start that way. The underdog Miami Heat came out and took it to LA early, running out to a 13-point lead. But then the Lakers did something that's not their strong suit. Knocked down three-pointer after three-pointer. Anthony Davis finished with 34 points. LeBron James 25 and 13, but it was 11 first-half threes from guys like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Alex Caruso, and Danny Green that fueled the Lakers on a 19-3 run and then a 13-0 run, and eventually turned a 13-point deficit into a 32-point lead.
You have to get a feel for how hard Miami plays. And I think, they smacked us in the mouth, and we got a sense of that. And so we knew how hard we had to play if we wanted to try to make it a game. And, from that moment when it was 23-10, we started to play to our capabilities. We started flying around. We started getting defensive stops in. We started sharing the ball a lot better offensively and just got into a really good groove.
Now, making matters worse for the Heat, Goran Dragic left with a plantar fascia tear in his left foot. His status for the rest of the series is up in the air. Bam Adebayo left in the third quarter with a shoulder strain, and Eric Spoelstra addressed the many concerns for the Heat moving forward.
Regardless, the Lakers set, the tenor, the tone, the force, the physicality. For the majority of the game, and they just took control, and we weren't able to get it back.
Now, Game 2 is Friday night on ABC 15. I'm Colin Harmon. Have a great day.
Colin, thank you. Today on ABC 15, Major League Baseball Wild Card Series playoff games continue. The Miami Marlins will take on the Chicago Cubs. Game starts at 11 o'clock.
ABC 15 Desert Drive Time, sponsored by Accident Law Group.
Chelsea Davis here, and doesn't it feel good to have sports back? It just is great. All right, I'm watching the roadways here, and we're going to help you navigate where you need to go this morning and if you're going to need any alternates. When we're talking about our freeways with our Accident Law Group traffic maps, we still have a lot of green out there, especially on the east side of town. Green flows into and out of downtown Phoenix, even through Maricopa, through Apache Junction, no matter where you're headed. I-10 eastbound right now, you're going to see a little bit of slowing approaching the stack. I-17 also around the Durango curve. 43rd Avenue and Indian School, we have a crash there, but it's really not causing any slowing at all. Just putting it on your radar in case maybe you enter I-10 near 43rd Avenue. 7th Street is still closed, and this is between I-17 and the 51. So northbound and southbound on 7th Street, Thunderbird up to Coral Gables Drive. You're going to want to use Cave Creek, 19th Avenue. You can even use the freeways there, the 51, I-17. North Valley, all clear right now. And I promised desert drive times. Here they are, all looking good, all below average. And with our ADOT cam, just a beautiful shot of State Route 51. If you plan to travel north or southbound there near Bell, you will not be running into any breaks.
All right, thanks, Chelsea. Hey, I wanted to start off by giving you an update that just came in this morning, our drought update, and we knew it wasn't going to be good news. We are now experiencing exceptional drought in parts of our state, which is the highest or worst level of drought, and that area in the darker red that you're going to see here on this map does include portions of the Phoenix metro area. The lack of monsoon rains is what has led us to this point, we know. We know also that the area under a severe drought, which is that other red color, the lighter red color, that has also expanded, now covers about 67% of our state, and of course 100% of Arizona is still under some level of drought, and it could get worse, especially considering the outlook for the month of October and the potential for La Nina to set up here as we head into winter, which favors drier than normal conditions for us here across Arizona during the winter season. Now, we're coming off of a hot, September. Of course, we had record hot months in July and August. September ending up tying for third warmest when it comes to the average temperature for the month, tying for second warmest when you break down just the average high temperatures for the month, and ninth warmest for the average low temperatures for the month. Of course, we didn't get any rain other than a trace of rain at Phoenix Sky Harbor in September, and that also ties for the driest September on record. As you look at the outlook for the month of October, because here we are in a new month, and of course more of the same when it comes to our weather. Drier than normal conditions favored across the central U.S. and across our state, and warmer than normal conditions favored across the western U.S. and of course Arizona. And high pressure remains in control. That's been the biggest factor with our weather for the last several months, or one of the biggest factors, and it is going to stay in place over the next several days. That ridge will eventually start to break down early next week, helping our temperatures trend down a bit. But in the next few days, our temperatures still running about 10 to 15 degrees above the normal high for this time of year. So we can at the very least look forward to and enjoy the mornings as much as possible. Right now, it's 77 degrees. We're starting to see more of that daylight out there as we get closer and closer to sunrise. Temperatures across the valley, look at all of those 60s. We're talking upper 60s from Surprise to Peoria, mid 60s right now in Chandler and in Gilbert, and across Arizona, not feeling too bad with upper 50s in spots like Kingman. It's in the 30s this morning in Heber and Window Rock, back down below freezing this morning. This afternoon though, 80s to 90s up north, with Phoenix Sky Harbor topping out at 106 degrees, which puts us 1 degree shy of today's record high temperature. Near record temperatures through the weekend, with highs in the low hundreds into next week, and at this point, no rain for the valley in sight.
Okay, Iris, thank you. You know, the pandemic, it's had the home improvement stores busy, right? Lots of home improvement projects happening right now, as well as shortages at places like the grocery store. But if you are ready to buy maybe a new dishwasher or fridge, do not be surprised if it does show up later than you hope. It's the latest shortage this pandemic year, and this one is frustrating.
It started with freezers, and it's gradually gotten in any appliance category, so a microwave, range, anything.
There are 3 reasons: springtime plant shutdowns, shipping delays from China, and surging demand as homeowners redo their homes. So you need to check delivery dates carefully. The website mouseprint.org says you will find plenty for sale at Lowe's, Home Depot, and Best Buy, but a popular Whirlpool fridge will not be available until middle of December. A Sears fridge that first said 3-day delivery actually won't be available until October 14th. And a Best Buy fridge just says coming soon. So if you can be flexible about the model or maybe a hidden scratch or dent, there are some great used appliance stores here in the Valley to get you what you need in just a few days.
A big congrats to a lucky player at Desert Diamond Casino in Glendale.
Yeah, this is awesome. That's John Bettina there hitting the $1 million jackpot Wednesday while playing a Buffalo Diamond machine.
His grand total over $1.2 million. That is a lot of reason to smile this morning.
Yeah, you can see those eyes smiling behind that mask. Good for him. That is just awesome. Well, dozens of high school football teams preparing to take the field tomorrow night for Friday Night Lights. But one game, and it was going to be a big one, it will not be happening. Coming up, why the schools are deciding to cancel.
And are you trick-or-treating or maybe buying candy or thinking about going to a party? Up next, a shopping expert explains how the pandemic has completely changed Halloween.
Watch ABC15 Arizona on your schedule. Stream the latest news and weather by searching ABC15 on Roku, Fire TV, Android TV, and Apple TV.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, normally this time of year, I'm either scoring you discounts on Halloween costumes or I'm going store to store to compare candy prices for you. But the coronavirus pandemic has definitely changed things. And a recent survey from Retail Me Not shows that shoppers are less interested in Halloween candy this year. Might be linked to some of the numbers you're about to see on your screen. 4 in 5 Americans say they are changing Halloween plans this year. Around half surveyed said they will not attend parties. They will not go trick-or-treating, but a quarter plan to take protective measures to still go out and trick-or-treat. We saw that Carla will tell us some other safe ways to do that. But I talked with Sarah Skirball, who's the shopping and trends expert at Retail Me Not, kind of what we should expect for holiday shopping this year.
close to 40% of people that we surveyed said they're going to be planning to start their shopping as early as possible, meaning the beginning of October. In fact, they want to get ahead of any shipping delays, any inventory issues. And the good news is that we're already starting to see lots of holiday deals taking place right now. Amazon Prime Day was just announced for the 13th and 14th. Target's going to be competing with them. Walmart's going to be competing with them.
Sarah really emphasized that it's going to be very important for shoppers to take advantage of these deals early because there might be inventory issues, shipping delays. Kaylee was just talking about that with appliances. There are going to be earlier shipping deadlines and surcharges as well. So I'm going to keep watching the trends, and I will help you navigate all of it and help you save money throughout the holiday season.
All right. Chelsea, thank you. That's great. It's good to get some of those tips from you. Hey, ZOOLIGHTS coming back next month, and you can start buying tickets today.
Yeah, you'll have two options. You can walk through the park or enjoy the fun from your car.
ZOOLIGHTS at the Phoenix Zoo begins November 7th, and it's going to take place on select nights through the end of January. Cruising you into this Thursday. Up next at 6:30, should kids go trick-or-treating this year? For some, the answer is yeah, but there are precautions that all parents need to take.
And tens of thousands of airline workers, they are waking up without a job this morning. So what does this mean as the federal funding has run out just before we hit the busy holiday travel season? I'll break it all down coming up.